Most founders think they have a CFO. What they actually have is a controller with a nicer title. There's a massive difference between reporting the past and protecting the future. If your CFO isn't shaping hiring decisions, margin protection, cash positioning, and growth pacing, you don't have executive financial architecture. You have historical documentation, and historical documentation doesn't protect you from collapse. In any scaling company, three forces must stay in tension: vision and revenue expansion, that's the founder; execution and capacity control, that's the operator; financial integrity and risk control, that's the CFO. If one dominates without counterbalance, instability begins. This isn't philosophy, it's structural physics. Today we're going to talk about what a real builder-level CFO actually does, and how most founders get this wrong. Let's draw a clear line. An accountant closes the books, ensures compliance, files taxes, reports what happened. They look backward. They protect accuracy. A CFO models the future, protects liquidity, challenges growth pacing, shapes executive decisions. They look forward. They protect survivability. Accountants close books. CFOs close risk. If your CFO isn't modeling risk before you make decisions, they're not operating at executive level. The purpose of a builder-level CFO is simple: to protect and scale the financial health of the company through proactive forecasting, margin discipline, and financial accountability across departments. They are not passive monitors. They are co-architects of your growth. Revenue is noise without cash control. Cash is oxygen. When oxygen drops, panic rises. A real CFO maintains rolling 90-day forecast, rolling 180-day forecast, weekly burn reports, AR and AP timing visibility, and stress-tested what-if scenarios. If you hire someone at $85K, what happens to cash runway? If a $1 contract delays payment by 45 days, what happens? If your CFO can't answer those questions within minutes, you are exposed. Most founders look at cash monthly. Real CFOs look at it weekly. Margin is not theoretical. Margin is operational. A strong CFO tracks forecast versus actual gross margin, keeps variance within 3 to 5%, ensures PM labor is allocated properly, runs post-project financial reviews, flags quoting errors early. If margin surprises you at the end of the quarter, your financial architecture is weak. In project-based companies especially, margin drift begins quietly. Labor overruns, scope bleed, rework, install compression. If your CFO isn't in dialogue with your operator weekly, loss compounds invisibly. Most companies don't go broke because of bad sales. They go broke because of misaligned headcount. Your CFO must model G&A as a percent of revenue, revenue per employee, hiring impact simulations, fixed cost exposure, and break-even thresholds. Never hire from pain alone. Never hire from optimism alone. Hire from modeled clarity. If your CFO isn't running scenario models before headcount decisions, you're gambling with structure. Here's where executive maturity shows up. Founder, sales are hot, let's grow 30%. Operator, capacity is stretched. CFO, cash cannot absorb volatility spike. If the CFO isn't empowered to slow growth when necessary, you don't have financial governance. Growth without financial tolerance modeling is exposure. Real CFOs protect you from your own ambition. That's not negativity, that's stability. A real CFO also thinks about line of credit reporting, loan compliance, builder's risk coverage, audit readiness, EBITDA clarity, fair market valuation, capital raise scenarios, and exit strategy planning. Banks don't fund stories, they fund structure. If your CFO isn't preparing documentation before you need capital, you're reactive. And as you've likely learned the hard way, being reactive is incredibly expensive. Your operator protects execution integrity. Your CFO protects financial integrity. They should disagree in private and align in public. Friction reveals blind spots. Comfort between executive roles is dangerous. Alignment without tension is delusion. If you stepped away for 30 days, would cash remain stable? Would margin remain predictable? Would financial reporting remain accurate and proactive? If not, you are the CFO. And that is not scalable. Vision builds companies, operators scale them, CFOs keep them alive. If you're scaling past 5 to 10 million and you don't have this level of financial architecture, you're not building a company. You're building exposure, and exposure eventually gets expensive. I work with founders who are scaling and want executive architecture built correctly. Operator alignment, CFO discipline, structural decision systems. If you're serious about building a company that can scale without collapse, go to my site, review the services, and if it makes sense, we can talk. Structure creates freedom. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.